Hi, BookTube. Happy Friday. My Friday is kind of like a continuation of my really weird week. The company I work for has gotten this like really bad computer virus. So because we don't have any computers, I can't do my job. And so I've been off work since like midday Tuesday. And like they're still working on fixing this virus. And so I've had Wednesday, Thursday, and now Friday off, but it's all like been on call. Like I never keep my phone on me. And I know this has nothing to do with books. I'm just telling about a week. But I never have my phone on me at home. Like I have like the sound on, but I have it in the other room because when I'm at home, I'm mostly reading, and so I do not like having my phone near me because then I'm constantly picking it up and not focusing on what my task is. So I've had to have my phone beside me just in case I get a message. Oh, the computer's back on, so you're going to work. And so now I got the all clear. Like, no, it's still gonna be off. And so I can actually be apart from my phone because anyway, it's been a weird week. And so I've had a lot of time to read, but because I'm in the middle of so many books, I think it's like 8 or 9 books, that I think I'm losing my mind. I cannot handle it. So what I decided to do is, instead of splitting these several books up into like weekly goals, I've decided to actually pick up a book, one of the books I'm currently reading, finish it, and then move on to the next one, instead of like chipping away at so many, because it's just too much. I can't handle it. I did too much. But the one book I am continuing to chip away at is a buddy read I'm doing. It's Avelina, the History of a Young Lady's Entrance into the World by Frances Burney. And this is for the Jane Austen July. And it's okay. Like, it's an epistolary book, and so it's in a letter format. And I think because of that, and there's so many characters, especially male characters, there's so many of them that you get used to one and then introduce another one. And because it's in letter format, you don't really get a good, at least I feel like you don't really get a description of who they are, and so you can like distinguish them in between all the other male figures. And a lot of them are very odd. They act really oddly, and so I think it's like I was talking with my fellow buddy readers, and I think it's like a satire, possibly, because if it isn't, then it should be, because they're acting really bizarrely. But yeah, it's okay. It's not my favorite, but I'm happy to be participating in my first buddy read, and we're reading 5 letters a day, and so far right now I'm like, I've read this much, and so I don't have that much more to go. But yeah, so this is the only book I'm going to be continually reading throughout the month. And so one that I picked up at the beginning of the month that I'm just going to pick up and read to completion is Dune by Frank Herbert. Where am I on this one? I switched to the Kindle's ebook version, but I think I'm like right here. So I have like 2/3 left to go. And so this one is about the planet Arrakis, and has sandworms, and it's like an adventure with Paul going to he was like living in a land of kind of like Earth, with lots of water and rain, and you don't have to really like scrimp for resources, but he's going to this planet with his father, and it's a completely desert world where even like your sweat, everything is just like used as much as possible because there isn't a lot of resources. And so yeah, it's like the setting is unique. It's written in a kind of like a different way, and so I'm hoping to really like, because I have like picked it up, put it down. I'm hoping to actually like get immersed in the world, so I get a really good feel for the characters and the setting. So yeah, this is what I'm going to be reading probably today. And then another one is The Dreamt Land by Mark Arax. It's chasing water and dust across California, and this is kind of fits in with Dune in a way, because it's all about how California, we have so many people here, and so much of the agriculture, be it the cattle or it's all sorts of fruits and vegetables, and especially like almonds, like that's like the big political thing, is that use a lot of water. And we even grow rice here, which is insane that we have rice paddies here. But it's all about really the California Valley, and it really focuses on the Sacramento Valley area, where the Sacramento River, and then it splits between the other valley, which is like connects with the San Joaquin Valley, San Joaquin River. And so it's like 2 distinct areas, and how even like the southern valley is it's better soil, because it used to be, ocean used to be here, and so like soil down there is a lot more nutritious, and it helps a lot with the growth. But that area doesn't get as much water as the Sacramento, the northern region. And so it's all about, the controversy of, drilling into the aquifers and taking that water, even though it's full of chemicals, but full of possible carcinogens. And, it's like water that's been down there, hundreds and hundreds of years. And so we're drilling like, 2,000, where we're down, farther down to get this water, because there's all this political Congress stuff going on, where, who gets the precious water, from Sacramento? Should it go to the ocean? Should it go, down to LA? Where should this water go? And so it's a really interesting book on not just the history of, like the development of California and, the agriculture and how it's been built up, and how this all came about. But it's also, the current times, and, what's the future going to bring? Because like when they're pulling this water, and also about the climate change with the drought. That's a huge thing. I can't forget to mention that. And so it's like basically turning into a desert. Like they're pulling up the water, and so it's there's salt in there because it used to be an ocean. And so it's turning the already kind of like desolate area into a more and more, it's turning it more and more into a desert because of the salt. And so yeah, anyway, it's really interesting, and I'm planning to read this one after I read Dune. And then if I finish those two this week, because like I said, I don't have to work today, and so Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then the next one I'm going to be getting to is one I picked up for a read along, and it's Lord Falsbane by Stephen R. Donaldson. And this one, I haven't read any Donaldson before, but I've been meaning to. And in this one, the main character, Thomas Covenant, and this is the Chronicles of Thomas Covenant, the Unbeliever, book 1. And Thomas Covenant is a very unlikable character. At first, I can empathize with him because he's the main character, and he has leprosy. And so it starts off where, it's like in a modern day city, and he is really irritated because, he has leprosy, and so his wife left him, and the town just does not want him to enter that area. They'll pay his bills so he doesn't go in to the town. But he decides one day, I'm going to go pay my bill. If I don't, even do this like simple task, then I will never have any human contact. And so he goes into town, and then all of a sudden, like something happens where he's transported to this like world where he thinks it's a dream world, but it isn't. It's a fantasy world. But his actions are just horrible, horrendous. Like I mentioned before, I was empathizing with him because he had leprosy. He felt isolated, and so I understand how that can create a lot of conflict and anger, and so that can kind of excuse you in a way from some of your ill behavior. But it's just I don't know. It's not a book that really pulls me in as much, because I do read books that have unlikable characters, but this one's just a strong dislike. So we'll see how it goes on in the future reading. I think I'm on chapter like 8 or 9. So I have quite a ways to go. But yeah, we'll see how that one goes. And then if I finish all of those, which we'll see, then I'm going to continue on with reading Larry McMurtry's Lonesome Dove. And this, unlike Lord Falsbane, I really, really am enjoying this reread. And I love this edition. I am like this far in. So I have like, I don't know, like 600 pages or something like that. I am into part 2. So I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. But I don't know, it's really hard to like... There's some things in here you can spoil, but where I'm at right now, there's not a lot of spoilers. But it's all about Cal and Gus, who are ex-Texas Rangers. And they are kind of like semi-retired in a way in this small town in Lonesome Dove, which is right near the Mexico border. And before, they were protecting Texas from the Indians and Comanches. And then later, they moved to the border to protect it from Mexican bandits. And so now it's kind of like settled down, and there's not much happening. And the town they live in, there's not much there either. And so one day there's this third man who comes to town who they used to know, called Jake Spoon. His name is Jake Spoon. And he has been traveling around. He hasn't stayed in Lonesome Dove. He's gone all over. And so he mentions to them that, Montana, that's a really good area for cattle raising. You can construct gold there, basically. And so it kind of stirs up Cal in particular into, okay, I want to do something with my life. I don't want to just sit there, in retirement and easy life. I want to be doing something with my time. And so they decided to gather up some of the people in their community and take all this cattle. They've never been cattle ranchers. I mean, they've, dealt with horses and cattle in a way, but not this like, mass cattlemen. And so it's all kind of like a new adventure for them. And it's like they're making their way from the very bottom of Texas all the way up to Montana. And so it's like that journey. And I'm at the part where they're just leaving Lonesome Dove and they're on their way to San Antonio. That's where I'm at. But yeah, this is a really nice, like rich characters, rich setting. It's a very nice read. And it's perfect for this hot summer. So yeah, if I can get this done, then I'm rewarding myself with reading Lonesome Dove. So yeah, that is my plans for this weekend. Like I said, I've had a really weird week. Sorry for the diversion from talking about books, but I thought I'd explain what's going on and what my reasons are for deciding to pick individual books for my sanity. But yeah, let me know what you're reading, and I hope everyone has a lovely weekend. Thanks. I'll see you soon.